Good evening and thank you for joining us. Mi Jung is off tonight. With just days until the legislature breaks for the summer, there are growing calls from Indigenous leaders for the NDP government to hold off on a couple of controversial bills. They're designed to fast-track infrastructure projects. But as CTV's Rob Buffum reports, not everyone is on board.
There's no support.
First Nations leaders are ramping up opposition to Premier Eby's government and its controversial Bills 14 and 15. Legislation aimed at fast-tracking resource and infrastructure projects.
Right now, when it comes to Bill 14 and 15, Mr. Eby is a snake oil salesman.
The bills have come under fire from the opposition, municipalities, and Indigenous leaders, citing expedited environmental approvals, excessive cabinet power, and a lack of consultation specifically with First Nations.
Just don't accept the Premier's excuses for this legislation.
Did not engage in the development of Bill 15 with the First Nations Leadership Council, as we should have. We've committed to engage in the development of the regulations with them if they choose to do that.
Despite the pushback, Eby says the bills are going ahead when voted on this Wednesday during the last week of this session.
My commitment to the First Nations Leadership Council is to work with them to demonstrate through this government's actions that we're quite serious, that we mean to use these tools to speed things up in partnership with nations.
Chief Don Tom is not impressed, citing this as a seminal moment in First Nations relations with this government.
The era of trust between the Premier Eby and First Nations chiefs is over. So the era of trust is over, and now it's based on results.
First Nations leadership promises court challenges to these laws, and Tom says he's heard from NDP MLAs not happy they're going ahead.
I'm hearing dissension amongst the party, though, that there are some within the cabinet and within the caucus.
NDP MLA Joan Phillip, herself Indigenous and married to Grand Chief Stuart Phillip, the head of the Union of BC Indian Chiefs, who opposes the bills, acknowledges she's in a tough spot but supports the legislation, and her marriage is strong enough to endure.
Married for 40 years, going on 41 years, and we've known each other longer, so I think we'll weather this.
What's less clear, the strength of the relationship between the Premier and First Nations leaders going forward.
And Rob Buffum joins us now live from Victoria. Rob, what is the opposition saying about these bills?
Well, Nafisa, there are no less than 5 confidence votes this week, the last week of the session, wrapping up on Thursday. Bills 14 and 15 are set to be voted on Wednesday evening and expected to pass. But John Rustad today said he again will do whatever he can to topple this government as soon as possible, meaning all of the NDP MLAs will need to vote in support of it, given the Greens also oppose it. It's unclear what the independents will do, but it is likely going to be a dramatic evening on Wednesday, especially in light of these headwinds we continue to hear about. Nafisa.
Thank you, Rob.